The OK gesture is made by forming a circle with the thumb and index finger while keeping the other fingers extended. It's widely known as a sign of approval or agreement in English-speaking countries and also used by scuba divers to mean "I'm okay." In Japan, it can mean money, while in France and Tunisia the circle can mean zero or worth nothing. In the Mediterranean, Middle East, parts of Latin America, and some regions of Europe, the gesture takes on a vulgar meaning compared to the booty hole, used as an insult or homophobic slur. In parts of Brazil, the gesture is a highly offensive insult, equivalent to "screw you." In some Middle Eastern countries, the gesture is linked to the evil eye and used as a threat or curse. In the Balkans, it's known as the controversial United Macedonia Salute, tied to nationalist movements and disputes over territory, especially in parts of Greece or Bulgaria. The gesture has also been linked to hate symbolism. In 2019, the Anti-Defamation League added it to its database, claiming white supremacist groups co-opted it, interpreting the three raised fingers as a W and the circle as a P, standing for white power. The Nazi salute, or Hitlergruß, was performed by raising the right arm at a 45-degree angle, palm down and fingers straight. It became the official greeting of the National Socialist Party in 1926 and symbolized loyalty to Hitler and the regime. Mussolini's Italian fascists had already used a similar salute in 1919, which later spread to Spain, Brazil, and beyond. It's often thought to be based on an ancient Roman greeting, but historians point out there is no evidence of such a salute. Instead, this so-called Roman salute came from the 1784 painting Oath of the Horatii. A similar gesture also existed in the United States as the Bellamy or flag salute, used with the Pledge of Allegiance until it was replaced. Today, the salute is illegal in Germany and Austria with penalties of up to 5 years in prison. It's also banned under anti-extremist laws in Slovakia, the Czech Republic, Poland, and restricted in many other countries. Globally, it remains one of the most offensive gestures. The Quenelle gesture is performed by pointing one arm downward with the palm facing down while the opposite hand touches the shoulder. Created by French comedian Dieudonné, it has been described as an inverted Nazi salute. Dieudonné framed it as anti-establishment, but critics and French courts consider it anti-Semitic, especially because it has often been used at Holocaust memorials and Jewish schools under the guise of protest. The gesture gained notoriety in 2013 and has since led to people being fined, fired, or arrested in France. It appeared in Dieudonné's 2009 campaign for the Anti-Zionist Party and was popularized further when footballer Nicolas Anelka received a 5-match ban for doing the quenelle during a match, and a French soldier was expelled from the army after posing with it in front of a synagogue. French authorities have repeatedly sought to ban its use. The Moutza is a traditional Greek insult made by spreading the fingers wide and thrusting the palm towards someone. The closer it is to the other person's face, the more offensive it becomes. An intensified version uses both hands. In ancient times, it was used as a curse. In Byzantine times, criminals were humiliated by being paraded backwards on a donkey with their faces smeared in cinder. Since the cinder was applied by pressing an open palm across the face, the gesture itself took on the meaning of insult and became known as the Moutza. In Iraqi and Assyrian culture, thrusting an open palm at someone signals shame and dishonor. The V sign has two different meanings depending on how the palm is oriented. With the palm facing outward, it became famous as a symbol of victory after Winston Churchill used it in World War II, and later it was adopted as a peace sign during the 1960s counterculture. When the palm faces inward, however, it is a strong insult in the UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa, similar to giving the middle finger. Folklore links this version to English archers at the Battle of Agincourt in 1415 during the 100 Years' War, who allegedly flashed their intact bow fingers to taunt the French. A modern example came in 1990 when British tabloid The Sun showed a cover with a V sign aimed at European Commission President Jacques Delors, sparking controversy about alleged Francophobia. Beckoning. In the US and much of Europe, curling the index finger with the palm up is a casual way to signal "come here." But in Japan and South Korea, the same motion can be taken as insulting. In the Philippines, it is especially offensive, since the gesture is reserved for calling animals, and using it towards someone can even lead to arrest. Similar views exist in Singapore and parts of East Asia, where it's considered degrading. The Five Fathers gesture is made by grouping the fingertips of one hand together and pointing at them with the index finger of the other. In Arab and Caribbean cultures, this is a strong insult, implying you have five fathers, accusing someone's mother of promiscuity and labeling the person a bastard. The chin flick is made by brushing the fingers forward from under the chin in a flicking motion. While it can resemble brushing something away, in northern Italy, France, Belgium, Tunisia and parts of North Africa, it's a very offensive gesture that means get lost or go to hell, akin to giving the middle finger. The fig sign is made by sticking the thumb between two fingers. In modern northwestern Europe and the US, it's often used in a children's game as the playful "I stole your nose" gesture. However, among early Christians, it was called the obscene hand, while in ancient Rome and Greece, it was used in rituals to ward off evil spirits. In Italy, it was once a very rude gesture, comparable to the middle finger, though it has fallen out of use. In Turkey, it remains an obscene insult, while in Indonesia and Japan it represents intercourse. In Russia, Belarus and Ukraine, known as shish or dulya, it's also considered very rude and used to say no or to reject someone. The raised fist, often called the communist fist, is a symbol of solidarity, resistance and workers' rights, often associated with socialism, communism, anarchism and trade unionism. It has been used as a salute to express unity in political movements and became prominent in anti-fascist struggles between the world wars, as well as in Pan-African, anti-colonial and anti-apartheid movements. Its meaning, however, differs sharply across regions. In Western countries, it remains a common emblem for anti-fascist groups and movements like Black Lives Matter, appearing at rallies and as a protest symbol. In China, it continues to be used by officials during oaths, as a sign of loyalty to the Communist Party. But in Eastern Europe, especially the Baltics, Poland and Ukraine, the gesture is viewed with deep hostility because of its association with Soviet and Bolshevik oppression. There, it recalls decades of deportations and violence. While not illegal, its public use can trigger confrontation, similar to displaying the Soviet flag. The cutis, or biting the thumb, is done by placing the thumb behind the upper front teeth and flicking it forward. In India and Pakistan, it is a harsh insult meaning "F you", serious enough to get someone thrown out of any place and not welcomed back. In Elizabethan England, it carried a similar meaning, seen as equivalent to the middle finger or even as a way of provoking a fight. The bras d'honneur, or forearm jerk, is made by bending an arm in an L shape with the closed fist up, while the other hand grips or slaps the biceps and the arm is raised vertically. Mainly used in France, Southern Europe and Brazil, it's an obscene gesture equivalent to the middle finger. In Japan, however, the gesture is positive, symbolizing courage or determination. The horns, or corna, are made by extending the pinky and index fingers while holding the middle and ring fingers down. In rock and heavy metal culture, it is a friendly rock-on gesture. In Italy and the Mediterranean, pointed downward or away from someone, it's used to ward off bad luck. Pointed upward or directed at a person, it becomes offensive, implying that the person's partner is unfaithful. The same offensive meaning appears in many Latin American countries and parts of Europe. However, the sign is also used by the criminal gang MS-13 to indicate affiliation. In 2005, George W. Bush's salute of the University of Texas Longhorns gesture was mistaken as an offensive sign in Europe, sparking viral confusion. The Shaka Sign is made by extending the thumb and pinky while curling the middle three fingers. It conveys friendliness, gratitude or a relaxed hang-loose vibe. Originating in Hawaii, it became a symbol of surf culture and is widely recognized in the US and Australia. But outside those contexts, it can cause confusion. In New Zealand and Canada, it has been mistaken for a gang salute of the notorious mongrel mob, while in parts of Eastern Europe, the Mediterranean and Latin America, it's sometimes confused with the horns gesture or gang signs like MS-13, leading it to be taken as mocking, provocative, or insulting. The crossed fingers. Placing the middle finger over the index finger is widely used to wish for good luck. Its origins may trace back to early Christians secretly using the sign of the cross to seek protection or help. The phrase "fingers crossed" expresses hope for a positive outcome. However, in Vietnam, the gesture is considered to resemble female genitalia and highly offensive, equivalent to calling someone the C word. The one-finger Tawhid is a raised index finger used in Islam to signify the oneness of God, expressing piety and monotheism. However, extremist groups like ISIS have used the same gesture in propaganda, leading to global misinterpretation as a militant symbol and causing controversy when it's displayed in religious contexts. In 2024, German football star Antonio Rüdiger faced backlash for his Instagram post making the gesture during Ramadan. The Albanian Eagle gesture is made by crossing the hands to form a shape resembling a double-headed eagle, symbolizing Albania's flag and national identity. Albanians use it to show pride in their heritage, while Serbs and Montenegrins often see it as a nationalist statement or support for Greater Albania, particularly regarding Kosovo. The gesture gained global attention during the 2018 FIFA World Cup, when Swiss players of Kosovar Albanian descent, Xherdan Shaqiri and Granit Xhaka, performed it against Serbia and were fined by FIFA for unsporting behavior. The controversy highlights lingering tensions in the Balkans. The Serbian Salute is made by extending the thumb, index and middle fingers. Traditionally, it symbolized the Holy Trinity in Serbian Orthodox Christianity and was used in oath-taking, but today it's widely recognized as a marker of Serbian identity and nationalism. While common among Serbs at rallies, sporting events and protests, the gesture is controversial in the Balkans. It became strongly tied to Serbian nationalism during the Yugoslav wars and is seen by many in Bosnia, Croatia and Kosovo as a provocation linked to war crimes. Though not illegal, displaying it in those regions can be incendiary. Eurovision winner Maria Šerifović sparked controversy in 2007 when using it after receiving points from Bosnia. Serbian athletes have used it after victories, leading to fines due to its provocative nature. At the 2022 World Cup, Croatian fans taunted Canadian goalkeeper Milan Borjan, born in an ethnic Serb region, who responded with the salute, reigniting debate. The Grey Wolf Salute is made by raising the index and little finger while curling the middle and ring fingers with the thumb, forming the head of a wolf. It symbolizes the legendary wolf Bozkurt from Turkic mythology, representing guidance, unity, and honor. The gesture is tied to Turkish identity but became politically charged through its adoption by the Nationalist Movement Party and its youth wing, the Grey Wolves, who were active in violent clashes with left-wing groups in the 70s. The group is also alleged to have connections to the Turkish mafia. In Euro 2024, Turkish player Meri Demiral showed the salute after scoring against Austria, prompting a 2-game ban. Turkish fans later repeated the salute en masse before a match against the Netherlands, leading to police intervention. In 2019, Austria banned the gesture, France has outlawed the group, and in Germany, politicians have called for a ban, calling it fascist. The three-finger salute is made by raising the index, middle and ring fingers close together while pressing the thumb to the little finger, palm facing outward. First appearing in the Hunger Games movies as a fictional symbol of unity and defiance, it became a powerful pro-democracy symbol in Thailand after the 2014 coup, where authorities banned it and arrested people for using it. In Myanmar, it spread after the 2021 coup, becoming a rallying sign of resistance during the civil war. The salute also appeared in Hong Kong during both the 2014 Umbrella Movement and the 2029 to 2020 protests against Chinese rule. The pinching finger gesture is made by bringing the thumb and one finger together in a pinched motion. In Italy, it often means, "What do you want?" but can also indicate perfection, while in the US it's used for showing a small amount or precision. But in South Korea, the gesture became controversial after 2021, when it was linked to the feminist movement Megalia, which apparently used it to mock the alleged small size of Korean men's wieners. This association fueled a conspiracy theory that framed the gesture as misandrist, leading to public backlash. Several companies and officials issued apologies after being criticized for including it in ads or public materials. Thumbs up is widely recognized as a sign of approval, success, or positivity in most cultures. Some trace its origins to English archers, who supposedly used it as a signal that their bows were ready for battle. However, in Tibet, it was traditionally a way of begging for mercy, while in Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, and nearby regions it long carried the same obscene force as the middle finger. Though still remembered in that sense, the offensive meaning has started to fade. The middle finger, aka flipping the bird, is one of the most recognizable obscene gestures, used to convey strong contempt or insult. Its origins go back to ancient Greece and Rome, where it symbolized sexual aggression, with the raised finger representing the phallus and the curled fingers representing testicles, meant to degrade or threaten the recipient. Today, it has become a near-universal gesture of hostility, particularly in the Western world, and its use in public settings has led to fines and suspensions for many athletes.